A house built on granite and strong foundations. Not even the onslaught of pouring rain, gushing torrents, and strong winds will be able to pull down. Haile Selassie. Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin. Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Lorraine Umbrista. Director of Education, Mrs. Dominique McCartney Russell. Undersecretary, Ms. Sonia Culmer. Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Deputy Directors of Education, Assistant Directors of Education, Senior Education Officers, and other senior ministry officials. Coordinator of the Teacher Cadet Program, Mrs. Demetria Rule. Mentors of the Teacher Cadet Program. And to you, my fellow teacher cadets, a pleasant good afternoon. My name is Gabrielle Major, head girl of the magnificent C.R. Walker Senior High, and I will be your moderator for today's ceremony. Coming to lead us in the national anthem and pledge is Chauncey Wright of Orrin Bailey Senior High, and he will also be leading us in our Teacher Cadet Pledge.
Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahama land. March on to glory, your bright banners waving high. See how the world marks the manner of your bearing. Pledge to excel through love and unity. Pressing onward, march together to a common loftier goal. Steadies onward, though the weather hide the wide and treacherous shoal. Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahama land, till the road you've trod lead unto your God. March on, Bahama land. I pledge my allegiance to the flag and to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, for which it stands, one people united in love and service. Cadets, please raise your right hand as we are going to recite the Teacher's Cadet Pledge. I pledge to strive for excellence in everything I do, to be the student I would want to give my labor to learn the pedagogy that will help me to excel, to serve the students I will touch, to serve my country well. With God's help to guide me, I will always keep in mind that I will ever strive to be fair, reflective, honest, kind. And one day as a teacher, remember to discern the person who wants most to teach must never cease to learn.
Thank you, Chauncey. Bringing us to the throne of God is Savannah Ritchie of Aquinas College with the opening prayer. This act will be followed by the welcome from our very own coordinator, Ms. Demetria Rule.
Good afternoon. Let us pray. Dear God, I want to express my gratitude for this beautiful day you have blessed us with. I pray for your protection and guidance over every individual present in this school and all members of Teachers Cadet, keeping them safe from all harm and danger. May you watch over them and lead them along the path you have prepared, bringing them closer to you. God, if possible, please bless us with your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Bless all of the teachers and individuals that made this conference possible and a successful one. In Jesus' name, amen.
Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, the Director of Education, Mrs. Dominique McCartney Russell, Undersecretary in the Ministry and the Executive with responsibility in charge of the Teacher Cadet Program, Ms. Sonia Culmer, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Mr. Ricardo DeVoe, Assistant Director of Education, Ms. Lenise Hart, to our mentors and invited guests. I know there are a few principals in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, teacher cadets, good evening. Welcome to the 2024 National Teacher Cadet Conference. It is so good to be here, and we know that we have a few cadets because of flight delays and everything that's happening that's still on their way. But thank God all of you made it in safely, and it is so good to see all of you. And let's give ourselves a round of applause for our ability to be here this evening. We have cadets from around our archipelago, and let's see where you are. Is Grand Bahama in the house? Abaco, where are you? We got a few of them at the back. Where's Cat Island? Cat Island is here. Exuma, Eleuthera. All right. We have persons from Moores Island. We have Spanish Wells. We have persons from 14 different islands represented at our conference tonight. And our theme is Teachers of the Future, Building a Strong Foundation. Foundations are important to a building. The foundation affects the building's strength and resilience once completed. Correctly done, a strong foundation lays the groundwork for a building that lasts several lifetimes. And like a building, foundations in education are extremely important as well for the student and for the teacher. Handled correctly, students who receive strong foundational education can communicate effectively, can think critically, can solve problems, can manage their time effectively, can collaborate with their counterparts, and can seamlessly adapt to new situations. It is the goal of every true teacher to develop these qualities among their students. The theme for the 2024 National Teacher Cadets Conference recognizes the importance of building a strong foundation among teachers of the future. It is envisioned that throughout these 2 days, cadets and their mentors will have the opportunity to examine foundations already laid in Bahamian education through historical perspectives. Conference delegates will also have the opportunity to craft tools to help a new generation of Bahamians to know and appreciate the legacies of Bahamian educational heroes. And so you'll be creating actual books for little children to teach them about the names of these persons that our schools are named after. We'll do that first thing tomorrow morning. And just after that, you will have an opportunity to understand data and how data tells powerful stories that we can learn from. These are foundational concepts for every teacher. You will appreciate the importance of gathering data from your future students and using this data to inform pedagogical practice. Another foundational skill in becoming a teacher who embraces personal and professional growth is the creation and maintenance of an ever-evolving professional portfolio. Cognizant of this conference will provide opportunities for cadets to lay the framework for their own professional portfolio and leave armed with the knowledge that they need to produce professional portfolios with a purpose. Finally, no learning is as effective as that done in a welcoming learning environment. The final conference sessions will give cadets and mentors an opportunity to consider cost-effective methods of transforming learning spaces to maximize impact. Foundations are indeed important, and it is hoped that through this year's conference, all of our teacher cadets and all of our mentors will have the opportunity to lay the groundwork for effective pedagogy. Enjoy this year's conference, mentors and cadets, as we have enjoyed preparing it for you. Once again, welcome.
Thank you, Miss Rule. You've made us all feel welcomed. Music expresses that which cannot be said and on which it is impossible to be silent. Victor Hugo. Please welcome to the stage Amia Rose, all the way from Jack Hayward Senior High of Grand Bahama to render a musical selection. I don't know about you all, but I sure do love a good poem. Please welcome Tian Cohen from Cobra Country, who will come with a poem entitled after our theme, Teachers of the Future, Building a Strong Foundation. Let's give her a warm welcome as she comes.
In halls where wisdom's torches gleam, teachers of the future craft their dream. With mortar of patience and stone of care, they build foundations strong beyond compare. Each lesson a brick, laid with gentle hand, knowledge and virtue they lovingly expand. From alphabets start to equations complex, they guide young minds never to perplex. In classrooms bright with hope's soft glow, they nurture seeds of curiosity, anticipating growth. With laughter they shape the minds of youth, instilling values, character, and truth. Through trials and triumphs, they steadfast stand, guiding, inspiring with hearts in hand. For in their students lies tomorrow's grace, their legacy woven in every embrace. So let us honor these teachers bold, whose stories of dedication continue to be told. For they are the architects of destiny, building a future strong and free.
Thank you, Tian. That was awe-inspiring. Before the Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin comes, she will be introduced by Julian Rule of North Long Island High, where only the best is good enough. Please welcome him.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me distinct pleasure this afternoon to introduce a lady who has become a role model and hero for me and has motivated me to consider a profession she has been lifting up since she became our illustrious Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training. The Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin is the daughter of our soil, the daughter of the late Honorable Arthur Dion Hanna and the late Beryl Church Hanna. She is highly educated, having attended St. Anne's School and then Queen's College before obtaining her university education at Padworks College in England, York University, Toronto, Canada, and the University of Buckingham in England. She is a member of the Inner Temple, an unincorporated membership association with the exclusive right to call students to practice law at the Bar of England and Wales. She is a politician par excellence. In 1998, she was elected chairperson of the women's branch of the Progressive Liberal Party, and in 2008 was elected chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party at its national convention, becoming the first female to hold the post of chairman at any major political party in the Bahamas. She has also served as the regional representative of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Women's Association. Mistress Hannah Martin is a 5-time PLP Member of Parliament for the Engliston constituency, having first won the seat in 2002 general election, followed by wins in the 2007, 2012, 2017, and 2021 general elections. During her tenure, she served as Minister of Transport and Aviation for 2 terms in 2002 and 2012, and presently serves as Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training. She is a woman of faith. A proud Anglican, Mistress Hannah Martin was married to the late Leon A. Martin and is the proud mother of 3 children and 2 grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome to the podium a minister whose passion for the people of the Bahamas, and in particular the children of the Bahamas, makes her the perfect woman for such a time as this, when the need to attract more teachers has become a national imperative. Please stand and welcome our Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin, as she comes to open our ceremony.
Please have a seat. Thank you so much. Boy, Long Island is in the house. North Long Island, to be exact. Mr. Roll, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. The light is shining, so I can't see everyone, but I just want to say welcome to all of you who are here, and in particular, the Permanent Secretary, the Acting Director, our Undersecretary, Deputy Permanent Secretary, our Education Officers, Assistant Directors of Education, any educators who are here with us, and students who are here in person, and I'm not sure if we're being joined virtually, I don't know, are we? And virtually throughout the country. And as Mrs. Roll indicated, we have representation from New Providence and 13 family islands, including Acklins, Grand Bahama, Andros, Eleuthera, Grand Key, Harbor Island, Spanish Wells, Moores Island, Long Island, Cat Island, and Exuma. And I'm told that of the total of 314 cadets, 250, along with 43 mentors, are either here or will be here in person, and the remaining number will join by live link. I'm also advised that this is the 29th edition of this conference, that this particular national conclave includes students from 44 public and private institutions, and that your theme, as you've heard from Mrs. Roll, is Teachers of the Future, building a strong foundation. I like that future part, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I just want to highlight some things that I've been advised that of the number, 314, we have 41 male teacher cadets. Chauncey, you're one. And it's been pointed out that this is a profession that has, of recent time, been predominated by women or females. That has not always been the history. Some of our great educators are men, have been men. A lot of schools are named after them. L.W. Young, A.F. Adley. Well, A.F. Adley was not an educator. Who said that? L.W. Young. But we've had great, I know when I joined Ministry of Education in 1981, I saw just a huge array of male educators. And so we are really pursuing a thrust to encourage males to enter the profession. And I'll tell you why it's important in a minute. But that is a thrust. I have, so I think that's the highlights I wanted to, for now. One of the issues that you will be studying is the history of Bahamian education, historical foundations, the story of Bahamian education. That's one of the topics that you'll be doing. And one of the things I like to allude to very frequently is the evolution of education in the Bahamas. There was a time, and it wasn't that long ago in human history, pre-1967, where the bulk of the population of color went to around 14 years of age in school and then went out into the world and do your best. There was one public high school. It was Government High. It was very much an elite institution. You had to pay to go. So you're alienating people every step of the way. And you had some private high schools, St. Augustine's and others. You had to pay for those also. So for the ordinary person whose parents did not have tremendous resources, around 14, you hit the road, Jack. Now, in 1967, the whole approach to education changed because it was understood that in order to build a nation, to build capacity, you don't import people, which is what was happening pre-1967. Even, I'm told, in Grand Bahama, a doorman would come from Malta or wherever, and you couldn't work in the banks. And so post-1967 and ongoing, the thrust changed. It was universal access to education, free, for every student and young person everywhere. But you didn't have the schools. And so there was a very rapid effort to build schools everywhere. And then there was a rapid effort to ensure students could access scholarships. Those who were suited, who had the qualifications to go to university at that point, most of them were probably in the private schools or in Government High. They were scholarshiped at the University of the West Indies, in England, in Canada, the United States, all over. It was a very rapid exercise to build capacity because it did not exist. And the results were amazing. I call it miraculous that in such a short period of time, when you couldn't access education, really, the masses, that with a shift of policy and incentivized access, you were able to produce professionals and those persons who could fill capacity in nation building. I raise that because there was an IDB report that came out recently, and this predates my presence here, but I think it's an observation that they have made. And one of the things they said the education system in this country does not equip the students with 21st century skills. Look at the paradigm shift. 1967 and ongoing, we were able to build this country with our own hands, which we're still doing. But now they're saying that with all of this universal access, that our students are not equipped for the 21st century skills. Not every young person, but generally they're making this observation. And they said academic shortcomings start showing up in primary school and are not effectively tackled early. And they have a cumulative effect through time. They call that social promotion. You keep pushing the child through. and they don't have the foundations. And then, and it goes on, right? And I say that because we are implementing strategies now, because we did the universal testing, which was the Renaissance testing after the pandemic, to try and find out how students were impacted by the pandemic, the learning loss, they call it. And we were able to get data. Data is critical. You could have opinions and you could speculate, but once you have data, you know exactly what is happening. So data is very critical in education policy, in education research. And we were able to understand where our students were from pre-primary to grade 12. And as a result of that, interventions have been implemented. They're still not as robust as it must be, because we're in a kind of a crisis in terms of the numbers of young people who are impacted by this phenomenon. And when we asked this company that did the testing, and they've done testing all over the world, whether what we were seeing was the result of the pandemic and learning loss, or is it this historic thing that this report talks about, where it starts in primary school and you keep pushing through without remediating appropriately, and they could not really tell. So we can speculate one way or the other, but we do know we have numbers of young people who have been impacted by this scenario. So education is about primarily functional skills, literacy and numeracy. And we have to make sure that all of our young people who leave our schools have those skills. We cannot be releasing students into the children and young people into the world who can't read and write. That's a major failure if this is happening. We have to work our hands to the bone to ensure that does not happen. And we have strategies underway as we speak to ensure that that does not happen. But education is about more than that. And that is when I want to come back to males. Why I don't understand why more men are not attracted. They say it's the money and all this kind of thing. I don't know. We're working on increasing the pay for teachers. There's been an increase about 2 years ago, and the objective is to increase the salaries of teachers so that teachers are more appropriately compensated for the important work that they do. But education is more than just literacy and numeracy, which is plenty. It is an awakening. It is a stimulus of the human spirit, of the intellect, the creative energies, and the entire, the whole essence of who we are and what we are in those early days and latter days in the classroom. And then in university, you see it there too. It continues. So when you have young people, children, older, or the junior, senior high students in a classroom, and you're teaching literature, for example, which is what my first degree is in. I did, for example, Shakespeare, which was not that easy, because it's sort of a different language. But when you get the gist and an understanding of what he writes about, it is such an insight into human nature that I can't even explain it. It captures essence or aspects of who we are, our nature. Science is an inquiry. You have principles, but it's also an inquiry. There are always new horizons, new boundaries to be broken in science. And we've seen it with all the new inventions every day as we speak. New things can happen. So you are taking a child out of the limits of even a textbook, but into a space where they are able to anticipate things that I'm certain I can't imagine. And on and on. The arts, the creative arts, music, dance, all of these, technical and vocational. electronics, carpentry, which is a large extent geometry, etc. So, and then you have to have, as a teacher, a sort of respect for the child in the classroom, because no two are the same. That's just the reality of it. They're just different. And not everyone comes to the table in the same way. Some takes a little longer. Some are way ahead. Teaching is not easy because you have to balance that in the classroom. But oh my Lord, there is no profession that so deeply touches the future of a nation than what happens in that classroom. And what a teacher does is able to tap into with our young people. So it is a profession that is extraordinary. It's not easy. Let me just say that part too. Because there are all kinds of dynamics in the classroom and all around. So it's not easy. But nothing is easy. Let me just assure you of that. But it's probably perhaps a little more challenging than many professions. So I have to add that too. So you have to have that in your mind. You know, we've come across some people who studied education, been in the classroom 4 months and they won't get out. Don't put yourself in that position. Understand what you're dealing with, the complexities of it, but the yield that you can get from that. You know, it's like agriculture. They say that agriculture is so difficult. You know, if it rains, if you have a drought, you could lose a crop. You got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. But at the end of the day, the yield that you are able to do through your perseverance and through your innovation and through your continued belief, because that's a big part of why you enter education. It's what you believe in. It's not just a job. If you want a job, don't do that one. Go work somewhere else. You have to believe that what you are doing is so important that, you know, and I'll just say, sometimes, you know, you are a teacher is the last or the only hope for a lot of children because of the complicated circumstances that many children come from. That teacher is a saving grace, and everywhere you go throughout life, and I'm sure you have your own stories, people talk about how teachers saved their lives, or teachers sent them on a path, you know, just opened doors for them. A teacher is in such a almost sacred space in the consciousness and in the reality of young people. So it is a job. You are paid for it. But I can tell you it's a lot more than that. It's more than a profession. I don't even know how to describe it. It's a passion. It's a passion. And it's not easy per se. But oh my Lord, when you see the result of your effort and your input in making whole, unleashing the imagination of young people, building their confidence and self-image, helping them to think. And the last thing I want to talk about is that in the notes here, they talk about the new civics and history curriculum. We have to, this is also a space where you build consciousness of our young people. You know, because if you look at what's happening around you, you may think that some of that is sorely lacking. But you have to cause for our young people to have a sense of the planet, the sense of their space, the sense of their nation, the future, climate change, all of the violence, issues of violence, and on and on. And so this is more than just literacy and numeracy, which is, I shouldn't say just, because that's the foundation. It's critical, and we're being challenged with that in some instances. But this is about really presenting young people to the world as best you can and with the limitations that exist, and giving them the best foundation possible for the next thing, whatever that next thing is. So we want to see more males because we don't have enough male role models in the classroom. We ain't got enough in the homes. Let me get real for a moment. This is part of the problem. Okay? I mean, listen, we might as well tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, right? So, but we need them in the classroom. So we have to find a way to incentivize men to step up, to help build the Bahamas in that intellectual space and creative space. And so on this issue of civics and history, on whatever the subject matter is, that we're able to also help build consciousness in our young people and a sense of space and place on this planet. Very important, because if we don't do this right, it gets haywire out there. It gets very haywire. And when it's haywire, it's not limited to any quarter. It affects us all, especially in a small country and where we are so closely linked. So, I'm sorry I went longer than I should have, but I want to say to all of you, I hope you will take this to the next step now to pursue education, to pursue areas of education that are your passion, and that you will move beyond the training through the University of Bahamas or wherever it is, and that you will go into that place, the classroom, the school campus, and understand the sacred nature of the undertaking with young people, particularly those who come from more complicated backgrounds, and the power, and I will end with that word, the power of a teacher. The power of a teacher. And if you use it well and correctly, this country will be beyond what we can even imagine. My father always used to say, the finest little country on the face of the earth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Hannah Martin, for your savant words. We will now bring on Malia Cooper of Central Eleuthera High School, who will grace us with a dance.
upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. Your family, your children, their children, their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. May his presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you. Yes, he is. In the morning, in the evening, and you're coming, and you're going, and you're with us, and rejoicing. He is for you. Yes, he is. He is forever, however, whenever, wherever, whoever God is for May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. Go before you and behind you and beside you. Within you, he is with. Yes, he is. In the morning, in the evening, in your coming, and your going, and your return. He's for you. God, he's for you. He's more than the world against you. Yeah, he's for you. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his May his favor be upon you and your children and their children. In the morning, in the evening, you're coming and you're going. Give you peace.
Thank you, Malia. You danced majestically. I will now call on our coordinator, Ms. Demetria Roll, who will be presenting awards to the 2024 competition winners.
Good evening once again. And it is at the opening of our national conference that we normally award those cadets that have risen at the top of our national competitions that we have in the Teacher Cadet program. Each year, we host several national competitions in an effort to encourage cadets to tap into some of the skills that will be very useful to them when they do become teachers. And so the ability to be creative with words and to take a bit of content and to transform it into something interesting, something outside of the textbook, something poetic, is a very, very good quality for teachers to have. And so each year we host our national poetry competition. The National Teacher Cadet Poetry Competition is always the most widely subscribed competition in the Teacher Cadet program. Most of the poems that were entered for the poetry competition can be found in your program booklet, and so I invite you to take some time and to look through and read through some of the thoughts of the future of the teaching profession. These are some of the things that they're thinking about the teaching profession. The theme of our poetry competition this year was teachers embracing the challenge. And we know that there are times when teaching can be rather challenging, but we invite them to embrace that challenge because something so beautiful can happen when we do. And so I know that you guys just want to hear who won. We had over 30 participants in our poetry competition, quite a bit. In fact, I think it was actually over 50 participants in our poetry competition this year. And like I said, most of the poems are in the program booklet. But emerging at the top of that poetry competition, we have in third place, from the Central Eleuthera High School, Miss Orlandria Pinder. And Director, I invite you to assist us, please, in the presentation of our poetry competition winners. And in addition to the, in second place for our national poetry competition, we congratulate Mr. Stanford McIntosh of the Sherlin Stanford is a senior at the Sherlin C. Boodle High School in Abaco. We congratulate him. And the winner of the 2024 National Poetry Competition, who will be presented with all right, production is asking me to hold 1 second. Director, you okay? You need help with that? Okay. We want the nation to see him. Yes. Mentors, I would have shared the link to the live stream of this presentation in our mentors group, but the persons can view this live via the Ministry of Education's Facebook page. All right. And the winner. We ready? We good? All right. The winner of the 2024 National Teacher Cadet Poetry Competition, all the way from Marshall Road in New Providence, Miss Sierra Stubbs of Bahamas Academy. All right. In addition to her winning trophy, we have a generous donation from Radiant Solutions, Dr. Raymond Mells, of a laptop, her bag, and headphones for our winners. Thank you, Director. We invite our permanent secretary to assist us with the presentation of the game competition winners. Each year, we encourage our future teachers to make learning as engaging as possible. And gamification is a big word in educational circles these days. And so this year we had a variety of games submitted. We had persons that would have submitted board games. We would have had persons that submitted card games. We had persons that submitted games that they would have created online games. We had fun playing those games. And the judges had fun playing them as well as we explored exactly how the game was played. Some of them following the instructions was interesting. But emerging as the winner of our in third place for the national game competition from Samuel Guy Pinder, all-age school in Spanish Wells. We congratulate Miss Danae Cates for her card game, Buckaroos. All right. It was very obvious as we looked at her game of the effort that came in as she handmade each card in that game pack. And well done. In second place, for her board game Verbs game show, we congratulate our cadet from the Jack Haywood Senior High School, Miss Lynette Moxie. All right. Our Freeport flight, about half of them came, well, a few of them came this morning, and the flight is delayed, so we still have almost 30 of them that are on their way here. And so her advisor, her mentor, Miss Wiley, will accept in her stead. Congratulations, Miss Wiley. Miss Wiley, is Ebony on that flight as well? She is. Well, then you need to stay at the front of the room because Ebony's here? Okay. The winner of the 2024 National Game Competition, Jack Haywood there must be a lot of games being played in those classrooms. We had some wonderful entries from Jack Haywood. Our winner, Miss Ebony Forbes. Ebony created an online game called Dragon Math, where you had to solve problems so that you weren't eaten by the dragon. It's a fun online game. We'll post the link on our Facebook page so that you can play it. Thank you so much, PS. We invite our Undersecretary, Mrs. Sonia Culmer, to assist us, please, in the presentation of awards for our poster competition. This year, we had a huge array of posters submitted for our National Teacher Cadet Poster Competition. Being able to create engaging posters is a very, very critical skill for our teacher cadets and teachers in general. And so emerging in third place from our National Poetry Competition for his our National Poster Competition, for his 3D rendition of The Heart from the South Andros High School, Mr. Isaac Ferguson. In second place, for her very unique poster about hair care, future cosmetology teacher. We congratulate Miss Caitlin Bethel of the R.M. Bailey Senior High School. And the winner of the 2024 Teacher Cadet Poster Competition for her incredibly detailed and well-crafted poster titled Junkanoo Adjectives, we congratulate from the Central Eleuthera High School, Miss Orlandria Pinder. Congratulations to all of our competition winners. Thank you, U.S. Culmer. And now it is time for us to announce the winner of our National Cadet of the Year. Schools from around the archipelago were invited to nominate cadets from their cohort for the National Cadet of the Year. And this year we had 8 students that emerged as finalists. To be a Cadet of the Year, you had to have been in the program a minimum of, you had to have been at least a year in the program, and so 10th graders are not eligible. You had to be at least in the 11th or the 12th grade to be eligible for Cadet of the Year. In addition to that, you had to have an outstanding record of 95% or higher in attendance at teacher cadet meetings, and you had to have a minimum score of 90% or higher cumulative in the teacher cadet curriculum activities that are given through our Google Classroom. And you had to have been an exemplary cadet in conduct. You had to have been an exemplary cadet as far as being a school leader, no disciplinary issues. And so there were 8 persons that were nominated as finalists for the Teacher Cadets of the Year. And at this time, we invite our Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training to assist us with presentations of awards to congratulate all of the cadets of the year that emerged as finalists. From the Doris Johnson Senior High School, we congratulate Miss Sydney Smith. Sydney Smith is a 12th grade cadet, and she desires to one day teach social studies. We congratulate from the R.M. Bailey Senior High School, Ms. Tershana Ramming. Tershana is a 12th grade at the R.M. Bailey Senior High School, and she also desires to teach social studies. From the C.I. Gibson Senior High School, we congratulate Miss Alincia McPhee. Alincia is not here. Okay. From the Central Eleuthera Senior High School, we congratulate Miss Orlandria Pinder. Orlandria is an 11th grade student at Central Eleuthera High School who desires to teach English language. From the Jack Haywood Senior High School, we congratulate Miss Lynette Moxie. Lynette is, again, she's on the flight. She couldn't be here, but we congratulate her in her absence. From the St. George's Senior High School, we congratulate Miss Brielle Moore. Brielle is a 12th grader at St. George's Senior High School who desires to teach mathematics. From the Old Bight High School in Cat Islands, we congratulate Lavia Martin. Miss Martin is an 11th grader at Old Bight High School, and she wants to teach language arts. And from the South Andros High School, we congratulate Mr. Isaac Ferguson. Isaac is a senior at South Andros High School, and he wants to teach science. And I'm sorry, Cadets of the Year, would you all please come back to the front of the room? Just come back to the front, bring your trophies, Minister. From among this group, we had a team of educators that chose the National Cadet of the Year. The student from among these nominees who best represented the ideals of the Teacher Cadet program and the teaching profession. Okay. One more of you can go. Okay. Our Cadet of the Year received her early education at Praise the Lord Preschool, Peachtree Street, Walter Parker Primary, and Sister Mary Patricia. Where she received numerous awards and certificates of academic excellence, such as Honor Roll, Valedictorian, Outstanding in numerous subject areas, 8 BJC passes with A's, first and second place finishes in math and science competitions, Student of the Year, and Deputy Head Girl. She is currently the Chief Counselor of the Local Government Junior Council Board. She is part of the school's debate team, Flagettes, Key Club, Student Christian Movement, Ladies Club, Bahamas Governor General Youth Awards, and, of course, the Future Teachers of the Bahamas. Throughout her years in high school, she has also been a part of the Battle of the Brains team and the math and science competitions in 2022. She was also a part of the Junior Jonkanu choreograph section. This well-rounded young lady has achieved BGCSE passes with 5 A's, 1 B, 1 C, and an SAT score of 1250. Apart from her academic accomplishments, she has received awards and certificates from her church, Invaders for Christ Global Center Ministries. She is also a junior leader in the youth department and dance ministry, a member of the usher department and youth praise team and outreach ministry. Moreover, she is a community builder and believes in helping to make a difference and lending a helping hand. She believes with God on your side, all things are possible. She says that her journey to this present position did not come overnight, but required hard work, dedication, and persistence. Her desire is to one day become a mathematics or chemistry teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 2024 National Cadet of the Year, Miss Brielle Moore. of the St. George's High School. We congratulate Miss Moore of the St. George's Senior High School. Thank you, Minister, and congratulations to all of our Cadet of the Year nominees. And now, we beg your indulgence. Amia, who was to render the musical selection, she is here and she really wants to do her musical selection. We want to hear it, don't we? And so we invite Amia to the stage of the Jack Haywood Senior High School as she renders her musical selection just before our vote of thanks. Amia?
Hi. There's a voice that cries out in the silence, searching for heart that will love him, and longing for a child who will give him their all, give it all. He wants it all. And there's a God that walks over the earth. He's searching for a heart that is desperate, and longing for a child who will give him their all, give it all. He wants it all. And he says, love me with your whole heart. He wants it all today. Serve me with your life now. He wants it all today. Bow down, let go of your idols. He wants it all today. He wants it all today. He wants it all today. So give it all. And there's a God that walks over the earth. He's searching for a heart that is desperate, and longing for a child who will give him their all, give it all. He wants it all. And he says, love me with your whole heart. He wants it all today. Serve me with your life now. He wants it all today. Bow down, let go of your idols. He wants it all today. He wants it all today. He wants it all today. So give it all. All of you, more of you, wants it all today. All of you, more of you, wants it all today. All of you, more of you, wants it all today, today, today. He wants it all today. He wants it all today. So give it all. And there's a God that walks over the earth. He's searching for a heart that is desperate, and longing for a child who will give him their all, give it all. He wants it all.
was truly beautiful. Let's give her another round of applause, please. Brianna Saunders of Queens College is now going to come with the vote of thanks. Once again, my name is Gabrielle Major, and it was my utmost pleasure serving as the moderator for this year's conference. Thank you.
James Allen once said that no duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. This afternoon, it is my duty, honor, and pleasure to say thank you to all that made this opening ceremony a memorable occasion. In all that we do and all that we achieve, we first must recognize the Almighty God for his work in our lives, for bringing us together and steering us on the path of being a teacher. On behalf of the Teacher Cadet program, I offer a sincere thank you to the Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin, for officially opening this year's conference and bringing remarks. Minister, your words are always impactful and powerful. Earnest thanks to the communications section of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training for the role they have played in ensuring that cadets and mentors that could not be here in person had the opportunity to join us virtually. Profound thank you to the Permanent Secretary, Mistress Lorraine Ambrister, and Financial Controller, Mistress Marie Darley, and her team in the Accounts Department for approving this event and ensuring that all payments for the event were made efficiently. We would also like to thank Undersecretary Mistress Sonia Culmer for her unwavering support. A wholehearted thank you to all executives of the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training for their presence and support this afternoon. Deepest thank you to the Jack Hayward Memorial Fund, Fidelity Bank, and Radiant Solutions for their generous sponsoring for the travel of our many program participants and the prizes of our competitions. This two-day conference could not have been possible if not for the untiring efforts of Mrs. Demetria Roll, who was led from the very beginning. She led us from the very beginning, encouraged us, mentored us, and brought us here to this fine occasion. Mistress Roll, thank you for all that you have done for us. To the mentors, we say a huge thank you for the time that you have taken over the course of the year to work with us and teach us this amazing craft of teaching. To Miss Philippa Johnson and Mistress Elizabeth Williams, thank you for pulling together everything behind the scenes to make this conference happen. To Mistress Tiffany Saunders, Miss Charlene Bethel, Miss Raquel Hamilton, Miss Daphne Arthur, Mr. McTair Farrington, and Miss Sharina Taylor, thank you for your never-ending support. To all the teacher cadets who participated today from various schools, we thank you for the time that you have taken to prepare your presentations. Finally, we thank our parents for the many hours that they have spent driving us back and forth to teacher cadet meetings. To everyone who have participated in any way to make this 2024 National Conference a success, merci, gracias, thank you. And may all contestants of the speech competition remain seated.
Please remain seated as our ministry officials leave.